like my chair isn't super obnoxious. But like, did you guys hear that? No, it's Sean's ego. Yeah. I feel like my mic is like uber sensitive. Um, gotcha. I'm gonna try and turn my Discord mic sense down. Okay. Is this okay? Oh. Is this better? Less echo? What about now? Okay. Cool. Oh, good. I'm glad you told me. I'll be sad.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, friends and family beyond the binary, good evening and welcome once again to the Coaches Corner, the show where we take a deep dive into one of Overwatch Tranquility's feature matches from the previous week. Tonight, I am joined by Sean's Ego, and I am here as your host to help ask the stupid questions so you don't have to. But let's get right to our host. How are you doing tonight, Sean?
I'm good, and it's seen, but thank
Scene,
you
yes.
for, yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for being on the show, Scene. So I got to know you just a little bit through a questionnaire before the show, and one of the things that you mentioned was you were really drawn to the overall package that Overwatch presented as a game, right? With all the lore and the backstory and everything. And so I was
Oh
just
yeah.
curious, what's one of your favorite little bits of Overwatch lore and backstory? What really kind of hooked you?
What really hooked me was like the intro cinematic with like Widow and Reaper, and then like
Mm-hmm.
those two kids. That was like so like cool how like the animation was like really cool. I kind of got baited in a way because it wasn't like that great graphics, but it was really cool how every like character was like interacting with each other in that cinematic. But yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, thank you so much for being on the show tonight. We are really excited to have you. We also have a couple of player guests. So tonight we're going to be watching a game between the SS Cuttlefish and Celestial Wind, and we have Caeruleum and Gorbacheez on the show tonight. How are you guys doing?
I am excellent. Thank you very much.
Doing well. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, good to have you both. Now, um, let's see here. Beforehand, I asked you guys both to come with like a couple of questions, something that you wanted to go over tonight. So I wanted to go ahead and bring that out first. What is something that you're looking for from this review? And Ceruleum, we'll start with you.
I guess really rotations on like support line and just general pathing of kind of everything in like a ball comp specifically. How to set up for engages, when to engage, like where every hero should be specifically when that's going on is probably something that we need to work on a lot, and it'd be really nice if we went over that.
Awesome. And how about for you, Gorbacheez?
Yeah, I came into this really interested in the hero compositions and what it is that can happen mid-map, because sometimes I feel as though we can get caught up into, well, I'm close enough to this ultimate, so I may as well just stay on this, even though despite it may or may not be costing us maps.
Right. That's excellent. All right, those are two excellent subjects, and I also asked Scene what he wanted to go over, and this was his answer. We're going to go over the macro. So do you want to elaborate a little bit more on this?
Yeah, for sure. It's a very general term. It's like kind of like fits in like rotations, positioning, alt usage, general team composition. It's just like not focused on like very individual play. That's kind of like what macro is.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Thanks. Um, well, let's go ahead and talk about the a little bit about the map that we're going to be going over tonight. We are going to be looking at Hollywood. So, Scene, would you mind just maybe orienting us a little bit on this map and talking over, either pointing out some strong positions, either from defense or offense, anything that you think is important from like an overall sense.
Okay, yeah, for sure. We'll start with first point. First point for sure. Like this lane that like my mouse is going over right now, like this is like a super important lane that we have to have control over, whether that be from this high ground or this farther back one, because this is going to be like the primary like rotation lane of any attacking team. So like when you're defending, you have to get really good control over that. And then like if you're attacking, you got to make sure like you're making sure it's safe to go through. So like usually you want to scout and then like make sure that you get like supports in a good position then. And that's kind of how like first point works, is getting support set up and stuff. But yeah. Second point, high grounds mostly.
Yeah, the high ground super important. And what about third? What can you tell us there? What should we be looking for? In terms of places to control, places that are important.
Okay, yeah. Third point, high grounds aren't as like OP as like first and second, just because like they're very limited to like those like two spots. So mostly you just want to be looking to like play those health packs and get control of flanks. So like flanks and like health packs are like really the strong points, and like the sides. Mostly like this main area is just very weak.
Okay, interesting. So it's the side areas and the health packs that you really want to be looking to control, looking to play around on third.
Yeah.
Got it. Thank you very much. All right, well, let's go ahead and dive into the game then. Let's go ahead and get over to Hollywood. So, we've got everything go ahead and queued up here for you. So,
Right.
what can you say about the compositions we're looking at?
Okay. So this is an interesting defending comp from like the blue team here. You Sig is a little interesting here because you don't really like have a lot of opportunity with range, and like the Ash as well. It's tough just because there's a lot of flank opportunities, and like if you like went like a Pharah even, God forbid, but
Right.
yeah, it can get poked out pretty easily. And then with like the standard ball comp from like right team, I like to call it chaos comp. Kind of like play like quick play. But yeah, um, it's a very solid comp here. Like, it's just standard. You can set up really well, and like the engagements with the Sombra Tracer are just always solid.
All right,
So yeah.
excellent. Yeah, I think if you hit N, we can go ahead and hit play and then get started.
Okay, nope. So I just want to see how we're like approaching this from attacker's side. I'll skip ahead.
Yep. And while he's doing that, be sure to hit us up with any questions you have in chat. What conditioner do we use?
I don't, in fact, really use one.
Oh, I use what is it called? Oh, I'll have to think. Yeah, it'll come to me.
Go
I'll
ahead.
let you know later in chat. I don't remember at the moment, but I'll let you know. But yeah, let's keep it to the game for the most part. I won't be answering any more conditioner or hair questions at the moment.
Tragic.
Okay.
Everyday Jack. I use Everyday Jack.
Yeah, I like the scouting that we're doing with like the diva here, like and like the tracer flank with the ball is really good here.
I have
How we
a.
lose high ground.
Oh, what was that?
Go ahead.
I'm wondering how we lost high ground. We should probably be starting high. I would say at least with Sig Ash on height.
Yeah, you should have also with
wondering-
like blue
I
team,
wonder if
you
I
should
missed
have had
something.
someone scouting to see like what they had, and then like
All
choose to
probably.
like stay on high ground or not.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
yeah,
it's not the worst thing, but like at the same time, like they don't have a mobile backline, and like they do need to get them rotated onto high, and like once their Zen break get on high there, it's like kind of doomed. So we should probably be starting with Sig on high.
yeah. Generally, you want to start high ground with like that Sig Ash, and then rotate it if it just like you're gonna get like destroyed by like a monkey comp.
Yeah.
We do have a question from chat. They're wondering what pathing do you want red team to take on the opening fight? So what would be ideal here?
Saying like if we like see like where they are and like what comp they're running, you generally just want like the tracer to get behind to pinch, and the ball to come from like an unexpected angle to follow up. You want your supports in a spot where they can like have LOS of the dive. So like putting your supports on high ground or even low ground would kind of work as long as you're being careful of their own dive. And then like the Sombra can like
Here,
I'll like zoom in for you guys. Sombra playing like in between the ball and tracer. Like you see like where it kind of like forms like a triangle. There is a really good spot because like if anyone gets booped off by the ball or tries to get out, Sombra can like follow up.
Yeah,
Sorry,
that
can you
makes
mark that
sense.
real quick?
And then the follow-up question from chat was how should blue team respond to those rotations?
Okay.
Excellent
So
questions,
if
by the way. Thank you.
yeah. If blue team is like being aware and like continuously scouting of like where like red is rotating, so like saying like tracers like playing where like the enemy ball is, like Hooch is, that means like tracer can be communicating that ball's sitting up over there, and we'll be able to clearly see that the tracer's flanking wherever she goes. So yeah. Oh, green screen. Tough.
Yep. Sorry. I'll be right back. My bad. There we go.
All good? Okay. So back to what I was saying, we'd be able to see the tracer go flank. So blue has like a couple options. They can choose to just like commit to the supports like right away, or they can just choose to like pressure the backline or like not the backline, the flankers, so they like aren't able to engage. Since they have an Ash, pressuring the supports is definitely a really solid option because we can like basically just one shot since we're also running Mercy, so it's like really solid just for destroying them and making so like they can't sit up. But yeah, not having the control on that high ground, like the middle high ground, is rough for sure.
Right.
Quick question, if you don't mind.
Mhm.
It's actually about red team setup. Could you? I know you said where Sombra should set up, but
Yeah.
could you mark it for me real quick? Just where
Oh
the
yeah,
Sombra would be?
totally.
This is a little personal as a Sombra player. I know you want to focus on macro, but
Yeah, totally, man. Right.
Yeah.
Or
as
like
a ball
in a
player,
ray near there.
as a ball player,
Really?
like I'm constantly booping people into that area. So like
Yeah,
as soon
just
as he said that, I was like, yes, exactly. Yeah.
so should I like so just somewhere that Ash can't see me, kind of.
Yeah,
'Cause I
playing
wanna
around like
focus on that
corners and like playing like on like low grounds, like adjacent to where like the dive would be.
Yeah.
And like you could also like contest point, you know? So it's like you have options. But generally you want to be like setting up adjacent to where like the dive would be. Or like under if it's on a high ground.
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, just off angle pressure into EMP spam into neutral hack kind of thing. Okay. I'm good.
Let's see here. Another comment. Ball could also go into backline and look for TP, right? For Sombra
What are you referring
TP.
to? TP.
I think
Oh,
Sombra TP.
yeah,
That's
like
what.
hunting somber TP. Yeah, kind of. You really just want your ball active in the fight, and like that's a little risky because if like it's a good Sombra, the Sombra's gonna be like, hold on, I'll go out of Epic Pen
Yeah.
Show. Like what I would do if I was playing Sombra, I'd be like putting it like around this like mega,
Oh, wow. Look,
and like,
there it is, right there.
oh yeah, there it is. So like putting your ball that far out of a fight, you could just get like run over.
Yeah.
So it's like a bit risky having your ball go hunt. If like you immediately know that they have a Sombra somehow, then yeah, you could go for that quick mission. But if they realize that you don't have a ball, they're just gonna capitalize on that.
From Red Clone in chat, could Blue Ball and Tracer be playing down the alley by Mega to deny the rep from Red Ball and Tracer?
Yeah, that's like what I was saying with like
Okay,
contesting the
perfect.
flankers. Yeah, they could.
Excellent. Yeah, let's keep moving then. Good stuff.
Okie
Thank
doke.
you.
So we lost a lot of controls since we're blue team. Like they're kind of just like took majority of this map already, and they have their supports on high ground, so we're in a sticky situation. We're doing a good job controlling like their flankers, but now like their ball and tracer are gotten behind. Their D.Va's playing really aggressive right now, and we don't have like a lot of like counterplay to that because we don't have like a brig like a D.Va. Yeah, D.Va kind of like played. Sorry, I'm gonna pause real quick 'cause I have something to say about this engagement. Okay.
Oh, go ahead and hit real quick. Hit N. And then B. Or actually, here I've got it. I'll do. Objective capture sounds off. In case anybody didn't know
Oh, yeah.
about that little tip. Good to know.
Okay.
My ears
So
are not
yeah,
safe.
the engagement from red's a little scuffed. The defending from blue also a bit scuffed. The D.Va pressuring point had a good idea behind it, like trying to force the Sigma down. It didn't really succeed, and you ended up getting picked because they just had like an Ash Mercy like railing. So unfortunate. So, but like blue needed to like be controlling way more space, and since we didn't start our Sigma there, we needed to be looking for like an engagement with anti way sooner, and like trying to go for a dive sooner too, way before like our we got the enemy supports on high ground, you know. So yeah, that's how like this would have gone better. Not having D.Va like get pressured too much since we realized that they had an Ash, and like having like a more coordinated engagement where everyone's going at the same time for red. Blue just needed to be scouting better and like denying angles better.
Got it.
That's all. It's good that like the brig from red realized that like the fight was pretty much over and decided to start brawling and left the Zen since like the ball tracer was like pretty much crippled. That was a good realization. Got him. Okay. We're now. I'm gonna quickly talk about like setting up here.
All right.
This is basically like a tug of war of who can get to high ground first.
Mm.
That's basically it. So Ana and Soldier and D.Va getting up here first really hurts red team. Especially since the swap to the Soldier is like so like powerful on high ground, it's gonna be tough to retake.
Right.
So oh, I'm in N. That's tragic. Okay. So for blue, we're pretty good. We just want to get our tracer in a spot where we can contest card and mix it up. And then getting the squishies on high ground, solid. Okay. I see that like red team, your priority was trying to get your supports on high ground too. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. So we're a bit slow, but like we ended the fight pretty fast. So they ended up taking it pretty soon.
I think you'll notice I spent too much time trying to ult track on the point that I forgot to walk around.
Oh, yeah. You really just gotta like, I know it's hard because like, it's like sometimes hard to ult track. So like getting focused on or getting tunnel vision on that is tough. But yeah, you really got to remember rotating because that's like the pure success of the ball comp is having like the Zen in a good spot. But yeah, we did a good job
That's
like with the Diva
interesting.
Tracer.
Could you
Go ahead.
expand on that a little bit more? Like, you said like the key to the ball comp is having the Zen in a good spot. Could you expand on that
Oh,
a
yeah.
little bit? Yeah, and just because I feel like that's a really interesting point that I hadn't heard before.
So basically, if you have the Zen in a good position where it can heal if someone like gets low or like where the dive is gonna happen, the Zen can like get immense value by like Harmony orbiting a tracer, or like not really Sombra, but you know, or like and then like discording like targets. Cause like in this elo, like trans tier elo, you really just gotta be like discording every target that like we're going for, you know? Harmony tier, Discord tier, it's like but like trans tier, like it's just like a must. If you're trying to like win it, for sure you gotta be like discording every target and like being really clinical with that. So getting your
Gotcha.
Zen in a good position where you can like rotate or like just have LOS, it's really important.
Excellent, thank you. And real quick, I wanted to ask something on behalf of Caeruleum. What you were interested especially in the ball comp with an Ash Tracer, right?
Actually, I am more interested in Celestial Winds comp because I think it's more standard and it's probably what we would play a lot more than like a Sig Ash. So I'm
Okay.
actually really interested in the Brig Zen and how you play around that comp.
Okay, cool.
Gotcha.
That's good to know.
Because like the comp that you guys are running, like Cuttlefish, it's it doesn't have many synergies. Like you don't really want to run like the on a brig with the ball. It's
Yeah.
more of like a monkey support line, but yeah.
Pretty sure we stayed on it because we had Nano. I think we're gonna swap to Nano right after this.
Fair.
Mhm.
Okay. But yeah, also like Pharah, like surprisingly works really well in attack here. Like I wouldn't hate like seeing Pharah instead of the Tracer for like Celestial Winds comp, just
Just
because
for
like it's so good at like denying high ground.
you would run that with Ana Mercy though, right? Not Zen Mercy.
Yeah, you'd run it with On a Mercy.
Yeah.
Just because like it's easier and like you don't really want Zen roaming of a Pharah because it just gets destroyed. But yeah. Kudok will continue. This is great, like the control that red team has. We lost it a bit just because like they're using alts now. Yeah. Blue team just kind of ulted first there because we were still trying to get in position. Like we had our Diva, Sombra, and Ball just like hanging out around cart-ish. So yeah, they were just able to engage first. There wasn't much we could do there besides like really hold back and like wait to get a good position. Recognize that we can't get high ground and hold back and like come up with a plan to take it. Because if like we knew that they had nano, we don't really want to take it because they can just like nano diva, nano soldier, and then like we're gonna get obliterated on high ground. Sorry, I had to pick up like a little thing.
It's all good.
This next fight's pretty solid starting. Blue team's like pretty split. We're getting unsplit now, but it was a little scuffed to start. Brig is way out of position right now. Red team should have like capitalized on that. I know you guys want to get high ground, but like that Brig was like taking a massive rotation.
To be fair
Okay.
though, I guess our Brig like being there kind of made our Ana free for a dive, and they did capitalize on that. So maybe not the worst thing.
It's not the worst, but like sending like at least someone to go for it because you don't need like a full team of 6 to kill an Ana, you know?
Yeah.
Okay. This recontest I want to look at. So one thing I'm going to point out is like that we have the ball tracer like going out like around the same time the core is. That's a big issue because like they could have a setup immediately and like we're not set up yet with the ball comp, you know? So like our backline's just going to get engaged on, especially since they have high ground control. If you're counting on like the fact that they have their ball in cart, which you don't know of because you haven't scouted yet, it could be like a tracer and then like it'd be in a very bad situation.
So
But yeah.
rotation should kind of like be happening like as our ball
After-
is pile driving, or like
Well,
like a
mhm.
roll through maybe, or just any sort of like attention that he gets.
The main thing to take out of what I said was the fact that the ball tracer
Yeah.
needs to be scouting before the core goes into like an open space that could be dangerous.
Okay. So how would you
Yeah.
how would you want the core to rotate there?
Even like holding back or like coming from a far angle, since you knew that like their enemy core would be on high ground, you know?
So if we went
So
out
if
like
like
left instead, yeah, like where the
where
tracer
this
is.
tracer is, yeah. Because like it's not like they're gonna be able to engage from that far, you know? But
Right,
like
and then
that
really
close, it's really easy to engage with the ball comp.
yeah.
It
Okay.
was a risky rotation there.
Right.
Ball comp, you're pretty much solidly set up. You would want to have your tracer on cart though, or like your actually no, I take that back. Having your diva on cart here would be so much better because diva can fly up if like the core sees that like they're coming up to them, you know, and then like tracer can swap out. Because like not having a dive engagement here when you know that they're going to come out of like two really predictable chokes is hurting you a lot.
Mm.
Sorry, went on a ramble.
Apagando las luces.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see what you mean. That immediately got capitalized on by red team, by Celestial Wind. Yeah.
Yep.
Red Clone's asking, how did Brig die? Was she
I'm
feeding
like,
mines? Yeah.
I've got you in my sights.
Okay. Sorry. My thing just cut up, so I can answer that. Where did Brig die?
How did Brig die?
At what point?
It was during that team fight, during the bomb.
Yeah. I
Oh,
think
like
it
the
was
EMP?
mines. I think it was by mines. Yeah.
Okay.
He's being a little bit of a jerk. He's
Oh, he's.
Oh, okay.
when I joined this
he's...
stream, they were like,
Sorry.
"Oh, they're gonna make fun of me dying to mines," and so I know what he's doing.
Yeah. No, never mind. We don't need to. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Uh,
Dying to mines when you're EMP'd is like not the worst thing, because like if like your team's probably gonna get wipes when you're EMP'd, especially with the ball comp since you don't have a lot of turn back ability.
right.
But yeah. Because like dying to an alt is 100 times better than dying to like a player because it doesn't give them alt charge, you know?
Yep.
Okay. We're watching through the wall. Actually, this is getting stalled really well. Oh my god. Okay. Yeah, you guys took that back. Nice. Yeah, that was like partial spawn advantage, and then you guys like took off angles, come back, so you pincered them when they were just all on cart. So like if you guys like if red team kept high ground control while people were capping, that would have been a cap for red.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, somber ball scouting, that's really good. Okay, a bit early with the mines, like your core isn't really set up yet, so that didn't get a lot of value. I think I get what Hooch was trying to go for. Like it's just cart denial, and then like if they drop to cart, they only have like one real spot to go. So that kind of makes sense. But like going for it that soon, while your core is just like all the way back at the bank, is just it's not great.
Apagando las luces.
Okay, another great EMP. Tragic.
The payload has reached the checkpoint.
Lagging.
Oh no, unlucky. Are you back? Scene, can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yes,
can
we
hear
can hear you.
Yeah, I hear you.
I'm gonna
Okay.
move the camera a little bit with the cart. Oh no, it looks like you're back now. All right, I'll let you take control again.
Yep. Sorry, I just like crashed during that last fight.
Oh, it's all good.
This is a solid spot. Okay. I see that red team, you're trying to get like your supports to like the top left. I also see that like you swapped Sig too. What was your reasoning behind swapping Sig here?
So I actually made a mistake pushing top left there. The call
Okay.
was to take that left lane and to use the Sigma shield so that we could beat their core. So if we think
Oh,
of the core as Zen Brig, Sigma, we thought we could get a lot of value by shooting into their Zen Brig, their Torbjorn, and their McCree.
yeah. Not great against the Torb Kree, since like there's a Zen there too. They could like spam you potentially if like you're going in too soon.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's a good idea. It's a really solid idea if you're trying to like take where like that Kree, Torb, and Brig are. Yeah, that's really solid. You're smart.
I think we end up camping out on this mini over here on the left.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, it would be even better like if you had like your Sombra on high ground and then like pincered them that way. But yeah, that's a smart idea, honestly. Blue just needs to be taking more control than they are. They have more spam ability, and like denying like that Sig from getting value, even though like they rallied, is really important. So even like engaging it with like the ball, it's just denying that is phenomenally important.
We just needed to go hard with ults there. We had Trank. We could have just actually just like ran into them really hard and didn't.
You could play it aggressive, but yeah, true.
Yeah.
Because like there's no point in saving it. You don't have another fight. They took enough space to just make it a one fight situation.
Right.
So like recognizing like what situation you are in is like really important. So like if you see that like they're just taking like a lot of space and you like need to ult because they are just gonna make it a one fight thing, you just have to use ult. No matter like what ult, even like if it's in like a not great situation, you just have to do it because you're not gonna have a recontest. Yeah.
Yeah, I got it.
This is a preferred angle.
Ready for battle. Ready. Defend.
So interesting. You guys are running the Farah monkey. Interesting.
Yes. Yes, we are.
Um, what's your guys' reasoning for double bubble here?
Probably because we can take really easy high ground control away from like their Sigma and their Zen Brig. Probably just one or two rotations. Like with Monkey Bubble. Obviously, it's like a soft dive, right? So you can't hard force them off. But you know, if you're a red team here, you probably scout this with the Monkey and the Far. You probably don't stay on high ground with the Zen Brig. So that would force them away, and also Farah gets a lot of value on attack, like you said. There's a lot of high ground that she can control and a lot that she can take away from like a Zen Brig.
That's fair.
Also, they never came out with a set hit scan, right? They never came out with a
Mhm.
Kree or an Ash or anything, so we assumed it would be Somber Tracer again. So the Far can get a lot of value into that if you play correctly.
Yeah, that's a good call. I would prefer to run like a Sombra over the Tracer here, just because like the utility of like gaining EMP is kind of greater than like
We-
running a Tracer. You might be
we-
going for like Grab Pulse though, isn't that right?
Yeah, so we've had some discussions about this actually, specifically in the Ball Diva comp, not Monkey Zarya, but whether to run the Tracer or the Sombra with like the Ana Mercy,
Mhm.
and the Farah has been like a point of discussion for us for a while actually. You know, as a Sombra player, I was definitely, you know, pro Sombra when it came to talking about that, but
Yeah.
I guess it's good to hear it validated.
Yeah, and like I don't know your like team situation. I could be wrong. Oh, hold on, I gotta sneeze.
He's gonna die.
I'm good. Okay. So
I think the reasoning for Tracer is mostly to just like follow up on like Farah direct hits.
So like there's a lot more follow up potential with Tracer than there is with Sombra, and the comp plays like a bit faster with Tracer, whereas like Sombra you're kind of farming EMP and you're waiting for that one waiting condition with that ult. Tracer gets a lot more value in the neutral, I guess is
So are
why.
you trying to play fast?
Well, I mean, with Double Bubble though, like not as much really, because Double Bubble really plays for Nano. So I guess it might be a little counterintuitive to be running the Tracer, because you could just run that far and like as you're farming Nano, you could also be farming EMP, right? Because you're not exactly going for kills with Double Bubble. So
Yeah.
yeah,
And
maybe
like
the Sombra would be better specifically in Double Bubble.
I would say displacement is more valuable than like pure pick potential here with the fire comp. That's kind of like why you're choosing to play it here, is to get them out of like positions that are favorable for them. So in that case, playing Sombra is more valuable in the sense that like you can hack people that like get out of position while they're rotating out. And that's like a big like engagement tool is like hack. Tracer has really solid pick potential. I totally agree with you on that regard with the Sombra, or like with the Pharah, I mean. But yeah, it's kind of outweighed because utility is just kind of like king in Overwatch currently.
Mm.
Okay.
All right.
I'll continue.
Oh, spec.
Really went off.
That's so sad. So I see like the Sombra's like scouting really early here. That's kind of like what you want to be doing when you're playing the ball comp here. In general, you want to be scouting like this early. Tracer's kind of in there, but I think Tracer's like planning to like tail them, so that's a solid spot.
We're currently planning on an early engage here before the
Oh
car.
yeah, gotcha. Then yeah, that makes sense. Your ball could be in a bit better of a position. Like it's a little obvious because like you're just main, so coming up with like a more creative angle could be more beneficial. But everything else looks like really standard and solid. Running secure is good. It's just it can get ran over if you end up losing high ground, so you got to be careful with that. Yeah. That's another benefit of like D.Va, because Pharah is like so prevalent on this map on attack. Running like D.Va is just kind of superior to Sig here. Especially if you're slow on rotations. Yeah. Blue's doing a really good job of like slowly moving forward, like killing whatever they see on their way. Which is like unfortunate for like the team. Leaving good. I'd like to see Pharah like taking more like aggressive spamming angles right now, since like we got them all backed up into that corner. When we got them backed into a corner, that's when we like kind of want to be looking for more picks, is like when they're all back to a corner.
Got another question from chat from just Artsy. Does Monkey want to wait until Tracer is set up to dive if you're setting up for a hard dive rather than a soft poke dive?
Yeah, if you're choosing to commit to a dive to like get kills instead of like farm nano or like Zarya. Sorry, Charge, but yeah. Tracer really just needs to be in position waiting for like the monkey to go in. And that's the same with like the ball comp too. Like the DPS have to be in position or the dive is just gonna get so little value. So yeah, good question.
Helden sterben nicht.
And Red Clone asks, how should ball comp be playing into this?
Into the monkey comp?
Yeah.
Well, we just needed to be like playing way more aggressive. That's the point of the ball comp, is to play super aggressive. That's why Sig is a little counterintuitive.
Okay.
So yeah. Since we're looking for like a engagement at choke, and we saw that they had a monkey, we needed to be like going in before there. That's like your ball was a little out of position because he wasn't ready to go in. So if you guys did plan to like for an engagement, like right here, that needed to like have like your ball ready and in position to go for it immediately, especially against the monkey comp, because you can like lose in literal instant, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. It's just about like tempo difference is how like all wins is just speeding them.
Okay.
Der Kampf ist noch nicht
Objective
vorbei.
lost.
I'm lagging, probably flying way too far.
I'll help turn you around a little bit here. Get you into a better position. All right. There we go. You can take over again.
Alright. Perfect. Okay, so this is like where Far Comp really like gets most of its value, is here on second. Because like if you play super aggressive here with the Pharah, the enemy team doesn't get value from getting high.
So I guess it'd be trolling pretty hard if we got held on second, then, wouldn't it?
A bit, yeah.
Maybe a bit of that is coming.
Gotcha. But yeah, your monkey's playing in a really aggressive spot. That's where I want your Pharah to be. And your Zarya can like play bridge pretty solidly, just so like if like the supports get dived, like the Ana that's trying to get on high ground, peel. But yeah, having like your like pure damage on high ground is really good here.
Огонь по готовности.
Yeah, that's tragic. Pharah dying. They able to like Sig Flux to recontest. That's brutal. We needed to like make sure that like that high ground did not get taken.
We just set up
Like-
earlier with like far on high ground already, and then we have control over it, and that never happens.
Yeah.
Kree getting those picks.
Because like Pharah was like kind of playing in an open spot too. I try and pause, but it's a little laggy, so I'm struggling. Okay. So yeah, Pharah was kind of playing like here, which is like pretty open, because like they're trying to come up that elevator. I get that like Pharah was trying to like spam them up when they were like going up. But like saving it so like you can boop and displace for when like you're trying to like control it is just a lot better than spamming, because like they have a Sigma that can deny it pretty easily. But boop there was like really important and necessary. That's why I personally like running like the ball here instead of the monkey, because he can like control high grounds better than the monkey. In that sense.
Cucumbered Pickle has a question in chat. They say, is Pharah viable on third point?
No. Pharah was not viable on third point. Yeah, that's one of my players. He's probably trolling.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, but yeah, Pharah doesn't work on third point just because like it kind of works like the first half, but like you could be running something better, you know? Because you really want like alt advantage for when you're trying to cap the last point, and Pharah struggles there hard. So Pharah's not a great pick there for third. Swapping to like a Hanzo, a Sombra, or a Tracer even, like that could be a better option.
Apagando las luces.
Yep, playing first, that's what I like to see out of the ball comp. It didn't seem like you guys were set up enough to like immediately delete them. That wasn't great. Like if you were looking for EMP, you want like pinches already set up and happening. So like ball coming from an off angle and tracer coming from an off angle when that EMP lands. Oh yeah, you guys cleaned up. Oh, and also I realized that you're not tracer controlling.
Just Artsy, seen coaches for Luminous Foxes, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
Unfortunately, ball went too soon. Luckily, you got out. We're now having to like play a bit farther back because the ball wasn't able to like go in effectively. This is where like the monkey comp's like getting a lot of advantage, because like there's chaos happening within the ball comp. It's not like there's not like what's the word? It's no longer coordinated. It is like quick play now, and that's not what you want to see. Okay.
Area denied.
So we're gonna go over Red's recontest.
Mm-hmm.
So far it's not looking great. I think all of us can agree with that. We lost 2 and like only traded with a trace. That's tough. Oh, better way that we could have done this? Having the core from like a bit of farther away, because like the monkey comp like was like kind of ready that way. So if your Sombra saw that like the monkey was like already playing that side, it would have been a bit closer, but like having like the ball bait the monkey more towards cart would have been a better option. So like timing that and making sure that like it's safe, or at least preparing that you're gonna get dived, would have been a way better way to approach that. And like from the ball team, you guys did a pretty good job of punishing and realizing that they're coming out of that small choke, so good on you there. And now it's just about like controlling space well enough that you can cap cart. It's a little hard with ball mines, but I believe in you guys. Where's your Ana? Pull up. As I slowly. Ooh, okay. We're in a bad situation now with blue team. I can see why this didn't go great. Okay. So if we are trying to cap point, having an Ana on high ground is going to be 1,000 times better than having an Ana on low ground. It's pretty easy to understand why Ana can get run over a lot easier if she's playing low ground. It's easier to see. And when you're on high ground, you can look for antis way easier. Sleeps, it's whatever. It's basically the same. But also being able to have full LS to heal your teammates is like way more important than just getting to cart. You know? So spending that little bit of extra time to get on that high ground, if you like died and you're coming back, it'd be worth it for sure.
The payload has
Good
reached
cap.
Kampf ist noch nicht vorbei.
Let's see. Yeah, good job with monkey comp here. Taking a lot of space. Okay, now you're walking away from it. That's kind of not what you want. Since you have a tracer, just giving the card to tracer is great. Now your Ana can be like pushing up, and then you guys can maintain that like space control that you just took. Like sure, there's a little bit of a risk that I'm coming from like high ground here, but like maintaining like that space control and even like putting like monkey in like this mega, just denying the fact that they can't stay there now because they could get pinched, you know? So making sure that like we're having control of everywhere. That's kind of like why I like Diva a bit better here, because like then Diva can like deny flankers too.
Mm.
It's a really important concept too. I know I didn't really say this, but being able to like tag on cart, emphasis on cart. That could mess me up. But like tagging off of cart, so like swapping your position with like another player on your team. So then like that player that you just swapped with gets value. Example, like swapping Diva and Tracer on cart, depending on the situation. Like if your Tracer pinching or your Diva to be peeling, like swapping them off could be really beneficial, depending on the situation.
Yeah.
Огонь по готовности.
Okay, the Reinhardt's really solid pick here from red team, because you're able to like control like this tight amount of space, since like it's very hard chokes here, and it's hard for it to dive through if you have a Reinhardt. It just like there wasn't enough good swaps made, and like yeah, I would have liked to see like maybe like a Doomfist or even like a Reaper since we had EMP, since we were really trying to get in there. Kree's really good for neutral because of like flash and stuff. But like if you're just trying to get in there and like kill them, running like a Doom or a Reaper is just better.
Round 2 complete.
Dropped one.
Score
Okay.
3-3. Switching sides.
And yeah, feel free to let me know if you guys have any questions. I'm kind of just like going hard, but like feel free to interrupt me. I don't really care. My players already do a bunch.
That's a lot of that point 3 was there's a lot of communication issues that we had that we went over right before our attack here, where we had some
Gotcha.
players that wanted to push in while other players were saying they were rotating, and so it was like
Oh,
people
like
would
with the
go
red
in.
team?
Ready for
Yeah.
battle.
Oh, gotcha.
Our core was rotating high ground as we were engaging.
Yeah,
we
you can. Go
Sorry,
ahead.
Okay, we run into those issues a lot with our Zenbreak comp as well, as we sometimes go really hard like
Ready for
when they're
battle.
rotating as well. So that's not like specific to you guys. We make those same mistakes pretty often.
But yeah, like since you did have EMP there and you swapped Ryan, playing high ground doesn't gain you a lot of advantage there. Playing there like the main chokes, especially since you guys saw that like they were playing there, setting up for that would have been more beneficial than trying to take high ground.
5, 4,
Boosters engaged.
3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
Okay. That was a solid scout from our ball. Could have stayed a little bit longer. But we now know that they're playing ball comp, so at least we know that.
60 seconds remaining.
And we are playing far back. We have 0 space control. Kind of like what I said before, but like more extreme. I'm pretty sure we have 4 people still. But still.
Yeah, we could definitely be far up again. Their Zenbreak is just gonna take high and get point control.
Yeah. And Diva's like even better at Sigma for like taking back high grounds and contesting high grounds because she can like leave and fly and stuff.
I think we've actually fixed our comp quite a bit here. I think this is a much better comp than what we had with the Honor Mercy.
For
We just
sure.
need to keep our Zen on high and we're fine, but we didn't.
Because like that's like mostly Diva's job, like in this situation with the comp that you're playing, is controlling space. And like just even adding like that tiny bit of pressure like that Diva has and like stalling them for a bit could be enough time for your ball and tracer to make like a better engagement, you know?
Yeah.
Because like you could also bait with her, you know? Ball going alone, Diva getting destroyed. Yeah, that's unfortunate dying to Kree there of Zen. I know there isn't a lot of like cover on that high ground. So like when you realize that like they had run Kree that can like 2-tap you if he's playing on that high ground, you just have to like play under and like talk to your team about that, or like maybe even like play back left. I'll explain why. Maybe even like here. So then like you still have a bit of LOS for your team. It like definitely shrinks it now that we don't have control of high ground and Kree can like 2-tap you. But like still maintaining a tiny bit of control so you can still go for a solid ball engagement is still better than just like bunkering down in this room and then you have a tiny LOS, you know?
Right.
Because at that point you just lost the fight.
Yeah, I got you. So I think I do actually have to head out. I got a quiz for my physics class early tomorrow morning, and I gotta be going to sleep.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it. And any final questions before you take off?
I think I got answered kind of what I wanted to.
Fantastic.
This was
Glad
really
to hear.
helpful. Yeah, thank you very
Awesome.
much.
Yeah, you bet. And take care. Good luck on your quiz.
All right, thanks, man. You guys take care.
Thanks for coming.
All right,
Have
bye.
a good night.
You too.
All right.
It's the
Back to
Gorbacheez
the VOD.
now.
True.
Yes.
30 seconds remaining.
Yeah, Blue just lost this. We could try and stall, but it's kind of more important to just get like a better recontest.
Yeah.
Objective lost.
Like less.
Stop the payload. 10 seconds remaining.
Okay. Blue has great control of high ground now. I would rather have the Ashe play the farther back high ground. Pause. Like where Brig is going.
Yeah.
Because then like, oh sorry, I dropped. I'm fumbling these little chips in my hands. It's a struggle.
It's all good. Who
yeah.
got a question from chat again. Who do you want to have with the Briggs then? Kree or Sig?
In this situation, like when you're running the Kree Sig, you want both of them with the Brig Zen.
Oh, okay.
Not necessarily like if you have a good setup, you don't need the sorry. You don't need the Zen with the that comp because you're kind of like brawling with the Brig, Sig, and Kree. Like if you have an advantage and like it's possible to brawl. But yeah, you need those characters together because they're too diveable if one of them's alone, you know? Like if you're if you're going against a mirror or any kind of dive, you're going to get ran over if you're not together before. So in that situation, running the Kree Sig is a kind of bit of a disadvantage because you have the ability or you don't have the ability to split up from each other.
Right.
We like to call
Gotcha.
it a thick core, and we just have
Yeah,
the core walking around
donkey
together.
core. But yeah. So in that situation, it's really good for rotating because like it is a really strong core for rotating. But for like general space control, it's a little weak.
Gotcha. Allah till mig!
Yeah. Blue just kind of played that better. Like there was some baiting happening, forced like some people out of position, and like we didn't have the Ash playing on the opposite high ground to like be safe and just nail shots in. So that was just like unfortunate.
Another question from chat. How should the blue team look for opportunities to dive the red team?
Okay. This is a really easy one. Since now you only have to worry about like one part of their team. Kind of. Like sure you kinda have to worry about like their ball and Sombra, but it's like not it doesn't have as high pick potential anymore. That pick potential was moved over to the core. So this is really easy now. You just have to be following and like scouting where like their core is going and then make a proper setup. So when like blue had control of this high ground, looking for engagements in this lane would have benefited them immensely, especially since they have dynamite. That might have been why that Ash was there. But the thing was, they didn't engage effectively, probably because like the ball got CC'd or something. That's where like Diva or Tracer comes in, is to take that CC, because in that situation, the ball dive is more important than like one of our like Diva or Tracer getting CC'd. You know, it's a little bit of an issue when Tracer dies, but yeah, it's really important that we're looking for an engagement, especially since we're playing that aggressive there. And that's like what it is with the ball comp. It's like whoever plays faster really just wins. Hopefully that answered your question. Because like their comps aren't that different. It's a little bit,
Right.
but it's mostly the same. Looks like Tracer's setting up to touch. That gives a lot of time for a ball and core to set up. Tracer's able to scout a bit. Touch. So far, so good. Gotta make sure we're denying that high noon. Good. Okay, EMP happens. That's fine. That was a bit late. Red team already lost 2 people, so trying to turn that with EMP. It's kind of last fight, so it makes sense that you did that there. But like doing it sooner would have been a lot more beneficial. So if you were trying to go for that EMP there, forcing people to like play out of position from blue and like trying to land like a more effective EMP before they started to like pick you off would have helped you guys like 1,000 times over.
Got another question from one of your team members, Cucumber and Pickle again. And this is an interesting one. I like this one a lot. Is it more important to play faster or to position better in a ball mirror?
Okay. That's a good question, yeah.
Yeah.
So, the thing is, it's also kind of dependent on the map and what alts and abilities you have up. If you have an advantage in like abilities or ultimates, playing faster is more beneficial because then you'll end the fight sooner. And that's kind of like what you want to do. But if you're at the disadvantage, setting up in a better position, like saying you don't have more abilities, if it's like an exact mirror, both should be playing for positioning. That's how it works.
Got it. Thank you.
Game on.
Leave.
Score 3-4. Switching side. Initiating match. Ready
Thanks
for
again,
battle.
chat. These have been some excellent questions tonight. This has been awesome. Thank you for being so participatory tonight. I really makes the show better as well. So appreciate it.
True.
Attackers incoming in 30
We
seconds.
love being it being interactive.
That's a creative ball rollout right now.
Right, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you're talking about how the Diva is a much better pick than the Sigma here.
Yes, in the sense that far as just a really common pick, and the space control of high grounds fits Diva better than Sigma on this map in general.
So what we've found, and you can tell me where I'm wrong here,
Mhm.
is that when we agree, we see a lot of Farah, we see a lot of Echo, especially on Hollywood here on this point. And so what we'll do is we'll normally start our Zen Brig there, where they are right now.
Yeah.
When we set up for the early engage earlier, we would set up on that high ground where Sigma is now.
Yeah.
And what we found is if you use a shield right there, it blocks a lot of the initial spam and gives our supports a chance to not take damage in a sense.
Yeah, that's fair. Like,
Or can
I
you
suppose
accomplish that with the Diva?
the thing is you can. And also, like, the damage that you're getting with the Sigma isn't that much value because, like, that little bit of poke doesn't make that much difference in the sense that, like, having a better position would benefit you more, you know? Because, like, that's exactly right. Like, getting more poke there is a thing that you do with the Sigma, but, like, is it really worth it, you know?
Well, it's not so much the Sigma damage, it's more or less the shield preventing the first
Well, yeah.
3-4 rockets. Or the
And like
sticky.
you're trying to go for like damage early with like the Zen and stuff, right? And look for an earlier engagement.
And just a matter of our Zen can kill them before their Farah can
Mhm.
break our shield.
Yeah. It's kind of like a map thing, because I'd agree with you if it was like a Rialto per se, you know?
Okay.
But like this map in specific is really like that high ground is kind of like a trick, you know?
Hmm.
That high ground's there to get like a little bit of value, and if you're able to survive up there, that's great. But the thing is, there's so many tools in Overwatch that can like destroy that high ground, like a monkey. If you play far here, like what they're running besides the Bastion, obviously. But it's just able to like destroy that high ground. Because like far is able to like take an angle here, and you're not running a hit scan, so Six is just gonna get like overwhelmed, you know?
Oh, but I'm pretty sure the Sigma's going to rotate here. We play where the Brig Zen is currently.
Mm.
But then I see it might go back to your earlier point of how the blue team was playing too far inwards. Or is that the right term?
Like giving up too much space.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying? Yeah, that's real too. That's why you kind of want to run Diva, because Diva's like better for rotating supports, and that's where it really becomes the difference between Sigma and Diva, the rotation ability. Diva's able to rotate them really easily. Sigma has some of that ability with the Six Shield, but like the E difference between like Diva and Sigma is just too large to ignore, and like the high ground differential. So if you're able to like play second, who do you think would get more value like in this exact situation if the enemy team's like running like a Rhine comp, you know?
Yeah.
The Diva can boop, the Sigma can shield and rock, but if they're holding shield, they can't boop. As an example. Because you don't want to like play it like expecting like a specific comp to come out. You want to like play your comps and like design comps around like all possibilities. Like even if you're playing against like a really like interesting team that's trying to like run Sim Bastion, you got to take that into account when building for like maps, you know? So yeah. Hopefully that answered a bit.
4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Defend.
And the main reason why it like didn't work first point was you guys just didn't engage soon enough like with the ball. So it could have worked, but like it just didn't, you know? You guys rotated way sooner that time after recognizing what they were playing. Good job there. Ball and Tracer going in like at a bad time because your core is now no longer there. So recognizing that from the ball and Tracer and like holding back and waiting exact this situation. And like, you know, right before the monkey jumped and they were all playing in like this little choke area, that would have been a golden time to come in because that's when like your core has LOS, your Sombra could have been on high ground, and your ball Tracer were behind. Like, I can't think of a, like an almost more ideal spot to engage. So yeah, it was just like mistiming of like dives there. Yeah, Red, you're doing a lot better job of dealing with the Pharah and preventing her from like destroying your core. So good job like adapting to that. Blue needed a better job of like. Oh, go ahead.
Mercy just barely gets away there.
Yeah.
The call was to kill Mercy, and so she's discorded, and Tracer Ball were going for her, but she.
Yeah, a great. Go ahead.
She made it. She's played really well.
Objective
Yep.
lost.
A great way to like kill pharmacies, especially when you're playing the ball comp, is like playing slow and like playing cover. Obviously, if you have a diva, you don't need to play as much cover. But it's mostly Sombra's job, in fact, and Diva's to be dealing with the Pharah. Because the Sombra can ground her, and the Diva can deny like all pressure that the Pharah's giving. So in that sense, you guys just need to be like looking to like hack the Pharah or the Mercy, because if you hack the Pharah, the Mercy's grounded. If you hack the Mercy's grounded, because the Mercy's obviously the goal to kill there. The Pharah is just an added threat, but yeah. And this is why I was saying like running the Sombra Pharah here is so good, because like I see red team is like trying to take this high ground, but it's just that difficult to take because Pharah is playing a bit smarter now and just really controlling that high ground.
Helden sterben nicht.
Looks like we have two separate fights going on right now. Yeah. Okay. So one team is a lot easier able to like go for like split fights, which being the ball, they kind of benefit from that because they have like a lot of their values spread out. With the monkey comp, that's different because sure you get a lot of value from the Pharah comp, but the other key part about this comp is the monkey. So it's a big issue when the monkey and Pharah go for the same target and we leave our backline open. Especially since we're not running the Ana now, it's rough. So having like Pharah control like space in between. So like now when like the ball's rotating onto your backline, you could just be like nailing them. That would be a lot better usage, and like having monkey like pressure from a high ground. You didn't need to go for like a hard commit there. I think you were because you saw like supports a bit split, but it would have made the difference.
Der Kampf ist noch nicht vorbei.
I see you guys are like backing up a bit because you realize that you're not able to kill that Pharah. That was a good recognition. Now you're able to take like 3 fights here instead of like 2, you know? That was a good realization.
Got another couple questions from chat. In your
Oh, yeah.
opinion, as a coach, how do you counter Sombra Pharah?
How do I counter Sombra Pharah? Okay, so a big thing, we got to be denying the Sombra from like getting hacks and stuff and farming MP. That's a big thing. So we got to like run something that can like be flanking to match the Pharah, or something that can be defending and denying the or not the Pharah, the Sombra. Sorry. So I see two really good options with that. I see a Tracer and I see a D.Va. D.Va for defending, maybe offense, but it's iffy. And then Tracer. Tracer is so good if you pair with the ball, because that means Tracer can be like a bodyguard to the ball and deny hack. The Pharah, that's kind of a big issue too. Like, you know, Pharah could just be walking on you, and that could be a really bad situation. So now you need like anti-air, or like denying like the value that the air gets. So again, you could run the D.Va. You could run like any kind of hit scan, really, like an Ashe, Pre, something like that. Maybe even your own Sombra, if like you're confident that your Sombra can like be hacking the Pharah and grounding it, then you can do that. But yeah, it's a really strong comp, especially for maps that are more high ground oriented, because the Pharah is able to like hide up there if necessary, and Sombra like basically controls all of the ground, because she's able to follow up and like deny value that other people can get trying to take it, you know?
Mm-hmm. And then a
So-
follow-up question from
Go ahead.
Spotty now is, do you think Monkey values more from Pharah comps or Ball?
I think Ball does because of pure displacement. So say like you're attacking on like first, I'm lagging a bit when I get over here. I'll fix the camera.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. So say that like you have a double shield like playing this main high ground. For whatever reason, it's happened. And like your options are either to run like a monkey or a ball. You just roll lock to that, I guess. And you're running the Pharah Sombra per se. So you like set up Sombra right there. Pharah like taking an angle where I am currently. And then like you could have like a ball come from behind and displace while Pharah gets value. When Monkey gets value, he's in the team and doesn't really want to get out unless it's a team that can blow him up, you know?
Mhm.
That's a big difference with the ball versus the monkey. One's trying to get in and get out. Well, kind of both, but like one is trying to like displace, the other is trying to dive.
Right.
You are diving with the ball, but that's not the whole goal. You aren't the value. You provide the value,
Right.
you know? So that's why I think ball adds so much more value to Pharah, because Pharah is a follow-up, not necessarily monkey. Monkey is like the resource you're trying to push, not the one you're trying to like set up other resources with. That's why I like the ball better. In a really extravagant way to explain it.
Nailed it.
Gale de Mahol.
Yeah, killing the Mercy there was huge. Now the entire comp falls apart.
Yep.
Alright, that's it.
Victory.
Paul.
Excellent. Well, thank you both so much for coming in, and thank you Caeruleum as well. Before we break, I want to go over final notes from Scene, and that is to remember how to play your comp correctly. So do you want to expand on this a little bit before we close out, Scene?
Oh yeah, for sure. So what I mean by that is remember like the advantages that your specific comp has, and then like evaluate your advantages versus your disadvantages based on like the map and what the enemy's playing. So like if you're playing against a Rhine, it's different from playing against a ball. And like understand that and like adapt to that and make sure that you're always remembering to do that no matter what, because that'll win you or lose you maps.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And Gorbacheez, any last questions from you? Yeah, about anything we've discussed today.
I don't know if I have any particular questions in mind, at least not off the top of my head. I'm gonna have to go back and look at this video a little bit. The D.Va pick, we're gonna definitely have to play test with on Hollywood, because we
Yeah, go ahead.
played Sigma for a long time now on 0.1.
Mm.
Yeah, like I'm not your coach. I'm just saying like what I'd run my team.
Gotcha.
Excellent. Well, once again, thank you both so much for coming out and joining us tonight on the Coaches Corner. Thank you to Caeruleum as well. And thank you to Laggy-san for all the work you've done kind of behind the scenes, getting the show worked out and sorted out and incorporating, all the things we want to. So really appreciate you as well. Looking forward to continuing to work with you. And yeah, that's going to be it from me. Thank you all so much. GG's and see you next time.
All right,
Guys.
Celestial.
Cool. Yeah. And Garba, you don't have to take like a lot of what I said to like what your team has, because like I was just doing general things, you know? Like it could be a completely different situation for your team, you know, like with like the hero swaps and stuff. I was just being really general with it. So remember that, okay? Yeah. Are you able to kick me, Jokum? Are you able to kick me from the thing? Okay, cool. Awesome, thank you. Yeah, go ahead.